Some children's programmes are remembered for a catchphrase, others for a theme tune or a famous character. Crystal Tips and Alistair managed to stand out by doing something much simpler. It barely said a word. First shown on BBC One between 1972 and 1974, the series followed the adventures of Crystal Tips, a girl with a huge cloud of purple hair, and her dog, Alistair. Along the way, they were joined by Birdie and Butterfly, who became regular companions in their colourful little world. There were 50 episodes altogether, each lasting around 5 minutes, along with a Christmas special. What made the programme unusual was its complete lack of dialogue. There was no chatter between the characters and no narrator explaining what was happening. Instead, everything was told through movement, expression, and music. Composer Paul Reed's soundtrack carried the stories from beginning to end, giving each adventure its own mood without anyone needing to say a thing. The series began life in an unexpected way. Creators Hilary Hayton and Graham McCallum originally developed the characters for a European Broadcasting Union animation project that called for programmes without dialogue. Their short film, Hide and Seek, was broadcast in 1971 and proved successful enough to lead to a full series. Visually, there was nothing else quite like it on British television. Crystal's enormous hair, Alistair's distinctive shape, and the bright colours gave the programme an instantly recognisable look. The artwork mixed drawings with cut-out animation techniques, creating a style that felt playful and slightly dreamlike. Rather than following strict rules, the stories often wandered wherever the imagination took them. One moment, Crystal and Alistair might be at the seaside, the next, they could be travelling somewhere entirely unexpected. The stories themselves were refreshingly straightforward. There were trips to the zoo, visits to the circus, picnics, fishing expeditions, and all sorts of everyday adventures. The absence of dialogue meant viewers could simply watch events unfold and interpret them for themselves. Behind the scenes, the programme was produced by Q3 London, an independent company set up by former BBC producer Michael Grafton Robinson. Animation was handled by Richard Taylor Cartoons, with Richard Taylor directing and animators Althea Battams and Maggie Clark bringing the characters to life. Although the original run ended in 1974, Crystal Tips and Alistair continued appearing on television for many years through repeat broadcasts. It returned regularly throughout the 1970s and 1980s, introducing new viewers to its wordless adventures. It even found an audience in the United States, where narration was added for broadcasts on Captain Kangaroo, something that had never been part of the original British version. Unlike many children's programmes, Crystal Tips and Alistair wasn't surrounded by a huge range of merchandise. Fans were treated to just a small selection of tie-ins, including a storybook, an annual, and, years later, VHS and DVD releases that allowed a new generation to rediscover the series. While the merchandise was limited, those few items have become treasured by collectors and remain a nostalgic reminder of this wonderfully unique programme. Looking back, Crystal Tips and Alistair feels completely comfortable doing its own thing. There were no lessons to learn, no complicated plots to follow, and no need for lengthy explanations. Just a girl, a dog, a handful of friends, and a series of cheerful adventures told through pictures and music. It was a simple idea, but it worked. More than 50 years after Crystal and Alistair first appeared, that distinctive purple hair and shaggy dog remain among the most recognisable images from British children's television.